To you, Tom Kirsting, you're a school counselor, you're a psychotherapist. Is the reality that no matter how much you control guns, you're going to get people like this shooter? And I'm not willing to blame all this on somebody saying, oh, he had Asperger's. I'm not having that being blamed.
Right, me neither. I'm not blaming that at all. But I can tell you the profile of this kid already before any news stations came on.
Number one.
Well, as a kid, I'm speaking as a high school counselor and having dealt with kids, prior to becoming adults. Loner, strange kid. You could probably go ask half of his classmates, who do you think would be the person that would have done something like this? And I guarantee a lot of them are going to say Adam Lanza is the person. His awkwardness. One thing that hasn't been addressed either is, going into this classroom and taking the lives of these innocent kids. Was he in so much pain himself that he felt, perhaps everybody else feels the same way I do? They live my existence, and now I'm going to take their pain away by killing them all? Who knows? Or was he just a crazy sociopath that was out for blood, hated the world because he didn't know how to connect with people? Who knows?
With me right now, Richard Novia. I'd like your response to what the shrink said.
In agreement with what he said, I don't believe that he would be considered by the student body or people he interacted with as the person who would someday go and kill 20 children and 7 adults. I can't agree with that at all. I actually spent a lot of time with him. As far as misjudgments here, it's clearly that misjudgment took place on Mrs. Lanza's part to buy such weapons with a child with mental disorders. There's where the problem lies.
But all this business about him having a mental disorder.
Yes, that did exist.
I think, let me jump in for a minute if you don't mind.
I can testify to this.
I think that, our whole world, this kid is a native to violence. That's what he's born into. That's what his reality is, like a lot of I keep calling him a kid, young adults. Me, when we were kids, we played duck hunt. We'd knock over the little ducks. Now you're playing video games. Is that part of it? It could be.
Well, wait.
It is a big part of it.
Back to you, Novia, when you say the mental illness was real and you're the witness, what was the mental illness? Richard, what was the mental illness you're referring to?
These are Asperger's part of it. There were other mental disorders that he dealt with, but also the idea that he couldn't feel the sensation of pain, burning, cutting, things like that. We're putting all this on him and saying that later in life, it's likely anyone would say that he would be the one to be the shooter. That is not true. There's lots of.
Are you telling me you are absolutely confirming he had Asperger's?
Yes. I'm confirming and have been confirming since the very beginning. I was probably the first to say it. These conditions existed. I interacted with that boy daily for several years and can tell you that there was no indication by his behavior that he would carry out a heinous act. Okay.